make me feel the radio.
All right, all right, all right. We are getting ready to get this party started. Can you hear me out there in radio land? I couldn't wait to get on here to talk to y'all today. Let's give it a round of applause. That round of applause is for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for listening to Make Me Feel It Radio. This is your host, Stacy. I am your host this Sunday night and every Sunday night from 7 to 9 p.m. I could not wait to talk to you guys today. This show is going to be quite funny. And we get to dive into a topic that I kind of am happy to admit that I'm not into because I've been married for 8 years. Now, don't get me wrong. I loved being single when I was single. But now that I've been married, I kind of like being married. So I get to pick the brain of all of you single folks out there and figure out what's going on in the neighborhood. What is going on in our dating world? What do we expect of the men? What do we expect of women? And everything in between. So, I am going to get started, but I'm going to give you some tidbits, some things that we need to be aware of, and some things that we need to know. What's going on in our community? So let's get started there, and then we can bring our special guest on, and we can get this party started. So first things first, Make Me Feel It Radio presents Confessions. The play. The play is next Saturday, September the 24th. Starts at 4 o'clock. The vendors will be there and set up ready for you to buy some things. 4 o'clock p.m. And what vendors do we have? We have Ed the Man. He's a massage therapist. We have Simple Wellness, my homegirl Angie B. She gonna be coming. I don't even know what she bringing. She probably brings some good stuff, guys. I'm telling you. She does body oils. She also makes skirts, and she also makes jewelry. Angie got it going on. You might want to stop past her table first. No, stop past my table first, and then you can move on to Angie's table. But so Angie's going to have some things for you. She's going to have some body oil. She's going to have some jewelry, and she's going to have some skirts. Hopefully she'll make me a skirt because that's my best friend, and I've been asking for a skirt for a minute, so hopefully she'll surprise me and bring me one. All right. We're also going to have Miss Angelique Grimes, who is our COT. She's going to have T-shirts. All right, so y'all know I'm my own engineer, right? So you know I'm the behind-the-scenes person. I'm the in-front-of-the-scenes person. I am the scene person. So if you hear me pause, that means I'm working on something behind the scenes, and I apologize, but don't worry about it. Back to what I was saying. We are going to have Miss Angelique Grimes, who is the owner of COT Apparel, and COT is Creatures of Thought. She's going to have T-shirts, and I am so excited. I can't wait to see her. She went to high school with me, and she's a pretty cool lady, I must admit. We cut it up in high school and still today. We are also going to have myself. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there. Make Me Feel It Radio. I'm going to be there. So my name's Stacy. I know you already know that, right? Okay, so I'm going to have shea butter. I'm going to have lotion. And that's all we're going to do for my table because I got things to do. I love myself. I think I'm funny. And last but not least, certainly not least, we are going to have a good girlfriend there, Teresa, and she is the owner of Islay. So we're going to get our shade on. Those glasses she sell, oh, yes. Everything I want to be in life. So everybody knows that I am the person that I'm. When it comes to my appearance, I am dramatic. I like the shock factor. I like people saying or looking at me like, how did she even put that together? That's my thing. Her glasses give me life. I love those glasses. Okay, so now, moving on. And if you like tickets, we still have a few tickets available. $15 tickets for the play Confessions. It is a one-woman interactive play, which means she's going to be acting, and this is my good girlfriend, Delight Taylor. She is the actress for the night. She's going to act, and she's going to play the role of different women. As she's acting, she's going to be interacting with the audience. So that means as she's acting, she's going to be throwing some questions out there to the audience, and you are perfectly welcome to holler back. This is a good play. This is an adult event. We're going to talk about some things that adults like to talk about and some things that you might have some concerns about. So we're going to keep it real. I guess people keep saying, I guess we still say keep it real, keep it 100, whatever your saying is. But we're going to have some fun with this. So this is a play, but you're going to laugh. You're going to be serious. Hopefully you won't cry. But if something makes you cry, then cry on. But it's a good play, and the premise is to start us talking. I want to start doing stuff all around the city. I want to have different plays. I want to have different events. I want to have different focus groups to get people talking. So one of the things I think that will push us ahead as a society, as a people, is that we talk about different topics freely. So no matter what your opinion is, no matter what you think about it, I think you should be able to go somewhere, kind of talk about it, kind of get it out, and put it out in the atmosphere, put it out in the universe, and have good dialogue. As adults, we don't always want to go to the club and turn up, but don't get me wrong, I'm turn up queen. So if it's a good party and it's going to have good music and good drinks, I'm there. I'm not against turning up at the club, not at all. All I'm saying is, but I don't always want to go to the club. Sometimes I want to go to an event where, me and a husband get a babysitter, or me and my homegirls go out together, or I go to alone. I should have that option. And I want an event that even if I want to go by myself, or if I want to go with my homegirls, or if I want to go with my husband, it should be a good event. And this is that. That's what I'm trying to create in Baltimore. So the event is this Saturday, the 24th, starts at 4 o'clock. We're going to say it's over at 8. We're going to try to stick to that, but it depends on how good of a time we have. Tickets are $15. There's $20 at the door. Vendors will be set up and ready to go at 4 o'clock, and the play will start at 5 o'clock. But I jumped topics. I know I was talking about something else first, and then I had to remember to come back. I'm so excited. I'm be talking all night. Y'all going to have to shut me up. Anyhow, but I want to start doing events all around city where, you come out. If you need to get a babysitter, you get a babysitter. If you don't have children, then, you come out, you have a good time, good adult conversation, and it's good fun. It's laughter. We're going to think. I'm a thinking person. I'm not a person to kind of just go places and just be somewhere, and it does not inquire me or require me to use intellect. I'm a thinking person. So if I'm going to get a babysitter and I'm going to dress up, I want to go somewhere where I'm going to have fun, but it's not I'm just going to be sitting somewhere just dumb. No. These events are those events. It's going to be worth you getting a babysitter. It's going to be worth you coming out the house, and you're guaranteed to have a good time with good people. So I hope you come out. If you need tickets, you can call me, 410-710-8739. Tell me you need a ticket. You can pay on PayPal, or you can, this is your last week, so I suggest you get your tickets, because we did not do a lot of tickets because I wanted it to stay an intimate event, and I wanted everyone to feel free to kind of be able to talk and have fun, and we not run, 3 or 4 hours. But so I kept it small. So the tickets will be sold out, I'm quite sure. We only have 1 week to go, and I'm down to my last few tickets. So if you want to come out next Saturday to a play, one woman interactive play, please hit me up or send me an email, Stacey L. Ferguson that's wrong. Stacey L. Ferguson 77 @gmail.com. So Stacey, Stacy, the letter L, Ferguson, FERGUSON77@gmail.com. A couple other things that is on the list for me to tell you about that's going on in our neighborhood is, and I participated in this spring cleanup the earlier part of this year. So now the fall cleanup is coming up, and it is going to be hold on tight, because I'm looking for it, because I don't see it, and I thought I already had it up. Fall cleanup. Here we go. You have to call 311 to sign up for the mayor's fall cleanup. And it basically is you come out, you sweep up your neighborhood, clean up all the debris, trash, get your neighbors involved. It's a good day to, kind of talk to your neighbors, help out in the community, make your neighborhood nice and clean. It's nothing like coming home to a nice, clean neighborhood. I did it last year, and so I will be doing it again. You have to call 311, and they will ask you what your location is or what neighborhood you live in. The city also provides trash bags. So you go to I can't think of the name of the place, but there's a place where they'll give you the information once you call 311, register your neighborhood. You'll go to the place, you'll pick up your trash bags, and then the day of the cleanup, they will have a trash truck come around to collect all your debris at the end of the day. So it's pretty cool, and I participated last year, and I'm sure I will do it again this year. So, again, that's the fall cleanup. Save the date, October the 22nd, 2016, from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. If you would like to register your neighborhood, call 311, and they'll get some information from you, and it's on. Some other things that are going on in our community or our neighborhood is there are details of a $100 million benefits agreement between Sycamore and the city. A newly brokered memorandum of understanding city leaders and Sycamore Development totals $100 million in private investment from Kevin Plank's real estate arm under a citywide benefits agreement expected to be unveiled on Thursday. So if you need more information about that, please send me an email. I'll send you the link. Ravens tribute for the 15th anniversary of 9/11 attacks. Sunday marked the 15th anniversary of 9/11, and the Ravens planned acknowledgments to honor the victims who lost their lives, the first responders and military members who rose up in service, and the survivors who have endured. So that happened last weekend. I didn't get a chance to go, but if you did, I hope it was very nice. H&S Bakery launches a $15 million expansion in Fells Point. That should be underway pretty soon. The expansion of the building is located at 623 South Caroline Street. I'm quite sure that will mean more jobs will be opening in the city, so please stay on top of that. That should be really nice. H&S Bakery has been here in Baltimore, family-owned, for 73 years. That's pretty cool. And in other news, 3 Baltimore neighborhoods to share a $5 million award to address mental health issues. That's a good thing because a lot of times we kind of look over or do not tap into that community, people with mental health issues, and it's good that Baltimore is putting money into helping those people because we all have family or maybe us who have mental health issues, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you're crazy. It just means mentally you may need some extra help more than someone else would. So I'm glad that Baltimore is taking the time out to tap into that and help us all. That is it for the news for this week, and let's get ready to rumble. We getting ready to get this party started, y'all. So let's start with our special guest for tonight. Our special guest for tonight, her name is Shawnice Taylor. And first of all, I want to say I live vicariously through Shawnice, and I just met her not too long ago through another friend. But when I tell you this lady is always out and about in the queue, I love it, I love it, I love it. And she's always doing something different, and she always posts the pictures on Facebook so we all are aware of what's going on, what she's doing. I love it. I love people who are not afraid to first go places by themselves, because when I was single, and even to this day, I go a lot of places by myself, and I usually have a lot of fun. The other thing is, it's not always, the club scene or the hip-hop scene or we have house music and club music in Baltimore. It's not always that scene. Sometimes she goes to, she went on a boat event, a boat cruise and dinner, and then, festivals, different things that's around the city. She is a thrifter. I love me some thrifters. So I'm at the thrift shop all the time. You never know what you can find in there. So I thank you, Shawnice, for always being out and about and kind of filling us in on what's going on around in the city. So without further ado, we will get this party started tonight, and we will be talking about the dating scene. So let's bring Shawnice on, and we'll give her a round of applause as we bring her on, because we want to thank her for sharing with us. Miss Shawnice, how you doing, girl? Can you hear me? Hello? Hello, Shawnice. Okay, maybe not. Wait a minute.
Aw.
Hey, here we go.
You had me muted. I was saying thank you. I'm feeling extra good because the Ravens got the win, so that means it's, a better night in the city tonight.
How about it? That's always a good thing. We always got rep for our Ravens.
Yes, of course.
So,
but I'm ready to get into this topic, though.
Yeah, how about it? Let's get started. So I'll start off with giving a very brief kind of, we'll start off with telling them kind of how this came about, and then we'll go into all the details. So, during the week, Shawnice posts on her Facebook page different topics, different questions, or things she might see or know about or go through. So this week's topic happened to be about, what was the first post, first of all? Because I don't remember the first one, I just remember it was two posts, and I started talking about one of them.
Well, the first initial post was just about how nonchalant everybody is. It was like a little bit more cooler of the two posts. But then the second post came around when I was saying that, it seems that nobody wants to invest on either side, basically, and that it just seems like in the dating game that the men hold all the cards. So in doing so, they have this attitude where it's just like you have to not only initiate contact, you have to maintain the contact, and then when you're on the phone with them or having a conversation with them, it seems like you're driving the whole conversation. And then from there, it's like, don't even get me started on a date. So it was just like a post that just talked about all of that, like just how it's just like, it just seems to be so sad out here as a single person. I like being single personally, but, every once in a while, I'll dip my feet in the dating game. But then, like, every time that I go out, it's just like, wow, this is essentially what I have to choose from. So it's just like that.
Okay. So, all right, now, all right, so me and Shawnice are friends through a mutual friend. So we are kind of new in our relationship. But that's all going to change because she'll know that I'm about to start her and harass her. But that's a whole nother story and topic for another day. Anyhow, so I am a person where I ask a lot of questions, and that's probably why God blessed me with this radio show. And I know sometimes my questions are what other people would think, like, I can't believe you asked her that. But in my defense, the only way we know is through asking questions. So
Correct.
I'm going to ask you some questions, and if I go too far, you can be like, all right, Stacey, for real, I'm not answering that. And it's fine with me.
Okay.
So, first of all, let's start off with an age range.
The age range.
And y'all know I record from home, so if y'all hear me talking and fussing with my kids, please, I'm sorry. No, out of here. Go take your shower and get ready for school tomorrow. Good night. Don't come back. All right, see, that's what you got to deal with. Hey, it is what it is. Now, all right, so Shanice, what is your age range? I'm not going to ask you specifically, but when you are out dating, like, what are the age range of the men that you usually come in contact with?
And well, it depends on the scene. Like, say, like, if I'm at a Leonore Wine Festival, the men can range anywhere from 27 to 50. If I'm out at a music festival, it could be an age range from like 18 to 35. You know, it kind of depends on the scene. But say like at the average, say like lounge or club here in Baltimore, I say you're dealing with men between the ages of maybe 25 to maybe like well into their 50s.
Okay,
so
good. So we're not talking about a younger generation. We're talking about grown people who's supposed to kind of already have it together by now. At least know what direction they're going with in life. Okay.
Correct.
All right, so then the next question is, so what do you think the problem is when it comes to kind of dating in a single life? Is it more of meeting people that are single and are dating, or is it after you meet the people, what happens after that?
I think what's happened now is kind of a twofold thing. I believe that everybody kind of has, number one, the options out here are kind of limited, you know, quote unquote, because if you really buy into the stereotype that there, you know, are more women to men, I mean, it is statistically, but at the same time, it's just kind of like, it is what it is. Like, stop subscribing to that because that's also part of the issue. But then the other thing is everybody seems to have ADD when it comes to dating. Like, you have to catch somebody's attention, like, immediately. And that's just kind of, to me, unfair. Because even if your personality, you know, the person that wants you to be this big type of personality, 5 times out of 10, their personality is not as grand as they want you to be. So I think that expectations and things like that are kind of off between men and women.
Okay, now, do you seem to meet more people at events that you go to that are worth dating, or do you seem to meet more people just like everyday life, maybe coming or going to work and transportation to work, from work, at work, or at the market, or like everyday things?
I seem to meet people more everyday life because I live downtown and I'm on foot a lot, so I'm walking a lot. So, you know, I'm constantly in the public, so to say. So I find that, you know, random people strike up conversations with me. So I find that most of, as the kids would say, my holler comes from just generally walking on the street.
Okay. So now, when we are going to events, now, like I said, I've been married for 8 years, so I've been kind of out of that scene for a minute. But, so I guess my question would be, so if if people are having a lot of events, and not saying like they are all singles events, but I would think that you would meet more people at events because people are being more social. So is the scene kind of when you are out at events, it's not really a social kind of scene like that, or is it only designated scenes like for singles only events, something like that?
No, I find that, I do meet some guys when I go out to events, but I just find that most of the time when guys are out at events that sometimes they're out at, in groups, or most oftentimes they're there with another woman. So sometimes it might not be the time and the place to talk to me, but it's just kind of like Baltimore is kind of like Smaltimore, so you eventually see these same people again somewhere else, and they'll approach you. So it's just kind of like you'll see them again. So it is what it is.
So now, are there dating events for single people? Like, are there events where you can go out as like, and that is the theme for that night? Like, we already know we putting it out there that this is a singles event and you're coming to meet people. Do they have stuff like that?
No, I mean, if they had them, I don't know about them, and I would say that
So then that's something we need to start, Shawnee's.
Because I come across a lot of events, and it just seems like I know a lot of single people, but it's just no events. Or when you go out to certain, like you say, events and clubs and things like that, most of the time people are in groups, so it's just kind of, hard to pry people away from groups. And then what I'm finding is like a lot of adults are reverting back to teen years, and I'm saying that because they're reverting back to this shy thing, and I'm just like, what? You're like, if you're past 35 and you have children, there's no need for you to be shy about anything in this world, because it's like you know how to navigate.
Okay. All right. So, all right, now let's get into the topic for discussion tonight. What's the BS when it comes to men and dating? What's going on?
I mean, it's between men and women, and it's like sometimes, men always say, well, women try to do this, women try, not to go with the flow, women have these high expectations, but then you do meet some guys who kind of, you'll meet them, everything will be fine, and you'll be like, okay, let's go out. And oftentimes when you go out, it's not even about bleeding a guy's pocket, so to say. It's just about connecting, trying to get to know them further. But it's just kind of like they shoot themselves in the foot, because it's like they'll tell you one thing, well, I'm looking for this and I'm trying to do this, but their actions aren't going with their words. And that's why it's kind of hard to take some of these guys out here at their words. So what I try to look at is their actions. And if their actions are telling me, you're inconsistent, or it's always some type of lemony snicket story. And what I mean by lemony snicket is it's always a series of unfortunate events. Like, it's always a series of unfortunate events. And, I mean, life is life. And as an adult, I know that everything that can happen will happen. But if you're like, you're getting to know a guy and you're trying to set up a date with him, I mean, one date, and every time something is coming up for you to get one date out of dude, then people can say what they want to say. He doesn't want to date you, or he's just trying to keep you as an option. The disconnect lies in there, and guys are like, women don't want honesty. We want honesty, but we don't want you to be a dick about it. It's a way to deliver honesty, and I think that some guys get it wrong. Like, instead of being honest and saying, listen, I really don't know what I want. I'm kind of confused right now. Because that's what dating is. You're dating to get to know. You're not immediately in a relationship, and I think that's where part of the disconnect comes in between men and women.
All right. So, I don't usually take the women's side because I know a lot of women are emotional creatures. And I know we do a lot of stuff out of emotion and not just with dealing with the facts. But I have to agree with you on this because I had a conversation with a gentleman this week. And the topic was because he keeps saying that he is single, which, okay, you're single, that's fine. He dates some women, and they are all kind of know his kind of thing, that he's single.
Mm-hmm.
But he an asshole with it.
Mm-hmm.
So I agree with you, and men should be upfront and say, okay, this what I'm doing, this what I'm not doing. You know, I want to chill with you, or I don't want to chill with you, or, you know, I got your number, and, you know, whatever the case may be. Don't be an asshole. Kind of just tell me what's up from the beginning,
right,
and let me make the decision on whether I want to be with it or whether I don't. So I get
right,
that part. But then, on the other hand, we women allow men to get away with too much shit before we kind of put our foot down.
mm-hmm.
Now, a instance happened, and this was years ago, and I mean years ago. But it was known that this guy beat his girlfriend, and I'm just giving this as an example because I'm trying to make a point later. So it was known he beat his girlfriend up on a regular. She didn't have to really do nothing. That's how he was. So it was what it was. So then I ran across him some years later after that, you know, first contact with him or kind of knowing him from the neighborhood. So years went past. I saw him again, and, you know, he was like, oh, hey, how you doing, blah, blah, blah. You know, you want to hook up? Maybe I can take you out to dinner. I'm like, no, because I know how you roll. I know you beat women. I don't really want to go out with you. So from the initial shock and look on his face, like, what? Did you just say that to me? Yeah, I did. So the point of the story comes in now. This way it get a little tricky. I think when you call people out, on their bullshit, then they kind of, all right, let me get my mind right, because that's not really what I want to be known for. So I think when you sweep stuff under the rug and people don't say anything about what's going on, so you meet a guy and you exchange numbers, you talk to him a couple times, he flake out or he wishy-washy a couple times, I think, like, women supposed to pull a card, be like, hey, look, what's it going to be? What's the problem? Why we not vibing, or why we not doing nothing, or how come you haven't done this? Because then that calls them out, and they'll either have to address the issue or they'll never talk to you again. Either way, I don't really care. But
right.
When people don't say anything and kind of just don't say anything to the person and kind of just sit back and be like, oh, he this or he that, then, you know, you don't make that person accountable for their actions.
I think that there definitely are women out here that actually call guys out on their BS, so to say. But I think that you're absolutely right that there is a larger amount of women that don't say anything because they don't want to rock the boat. You know, for some of them, you know, a piece of something is better than nothing at all. And I'm here to tell you that a piece of something is just that, a piece. Like, it's not going to last long. And it's not even going to be worth it. It's not even going to satisfy your appetite. So why settle for a piece? But it's just, you know, I think that, you know, staggeringly, women are the ones that always seem to be held accountable for men's behavior. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, why are we often the gatekeepers of their maturation when it comes to relationships and dating? It shouldn't be that way. You know, like, I understand that women should be accountable for their actions and calling men out, but I find that it's not the other way around. Like, women, oh, well, if you do this X, Y, and Z, then, you know, maybe the guy will respond to this. But if the shoe was on the other foot, men are not, you know, told to be held, you know, accountable for women's behaviors. You know what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? Like, like
No,
women disproportionately are told you should act like X, Y, and Z, and you can get this man, but men are not told to do the same thing. So it's just kind of like this thing where it's like a crop of Jews that's just like thinking that they these like prize unicorns out here because they don't have kids and they have X, Y, and Z. But I mean, it's a lot of educated women out here with no kids and make a lot of money, but you don't see them out here acting as assholey as some of these guys are.
So what is the craziest thing you have heard or have seen from a guy that you were dating that made you be like, you know what, I'd rather be single. I can't with that.
Well, I one time I met this guy on the street one day. I was at one of my old favorite bars. It used to be called Midtown Yacht Club. It's now called Flavor. And I was there on a football Sunday one day, and he was walking past, and we struck up a conversation. Vibes was there, conversation was there. We seemed to be looking for the same thing, so we decided to, make a date and go to the 13th floor because it overlooks Mount Vernon. It gives you a beautiful view at night. The lights come on. And it's it's really dope. You're trying to get to know somebody. You can get to know somebody over a beautiful view, and, and some drinks. So he comes to the place. We meet up. And, we get to the door, and the first red flag that popped up was when the doorman asked the guy, are you paying for her cover? And no, matter of fact, the guy actually walked straight into the place, and the bouncer was like, it's a $5 cover. And dude kind of like looked at me like I was supposed to pay his cover. So then I was like, okay, I was like, no, he has himself. I'm okay for myself, So at that point I had already figured that it was going to be a Dutch date. I'm not the type of woman I'm not going to give you the immediate stank face. I'm going to give you a second. I'm going to find out, what's really good, what's popping. I'm not going to give you the toss out immediately. So we go to the bar. Bartender comes up. Do you guys want to start a tab? And, dude is hemming and hawing like, and then, I was like, no, we can, pay drink by drink. So then as, we order our drinks, we go to pay or whatever, I noticed that he's still doing the same hemming and hawing with his wallet. So I paid for my drink, and didn't even offer to pay for his because at this point I'm realizing that he seems like he came on the date to get treated. So then I'm like, okay, I'm not understanding what's going on here because typically if I invite a man out on a date, I'm going to pay. But if you invite me out, you're paying. So then we go on.
You really go by that?
Sometimes I do, and most of the times, if I take a guy on a date, I don't end up paying. It's like I'll say, well, I have this date, and they'll be like, no, I can't let you do that. It's not always, I don't think it's always about paying for the date. I just think that some guys just want to know that you're willing to put in 50-50 on the date, or you're willing, you're just as much willing to invest in a good time as they are. So then he went on to talk about how he likes to go to gay clubs because he likes to be treated like a king. And I'm just like, what? Like, and it's nothing wrong. It's nothing wrong with being gay, and it's nothing wrong about, sexuality and things like that. But to be on a date with a woman and you sit here and you admit to going to a gay bar to use gay men for attention and drinks, let me tell you, I went and said that I had to go to the bathroom. I left the bathroom and I got on the elevator. I never went back on that date. And he definitely tried to call me again. I definitely saw him on the street again. But that's like one of the things that you're not going to do on a date. Like, not only were you like extra frugal on it, like I had already made the date as cheap as possible. Because, when I go out on dates with guys, I try to bear in mind that it's not always about dinner and a movie.
Where you go and how much you spend.
Right. It could be a non-traditional date. We can go to karaoke. We can do this. We can We can go, indoor rock climbing. I don't care, but it's like it doesn't have to always be something. And it was like with the 13th floor, it was like the cover was like literally $5, and like drinks were half off. But that you really like were on this date unprepared, but like he didn't even show an inkling of any of that while we were like, getting to know each other. So that was one of the wildest like dates that I had ever been on. Like, yeah, and to this day, like he never like understood. Like I don't see what I said was wrong, and I'm like, you essentially, admitted to using people for drinks, like, and you were on a date. So what were you? Right. So what are you trying to use me for? Admission, and So I find a lot of dudes out there that kind of, I like to say you have to listen to people, because if you listen to them, they will tell you exactly what's wrong with them. And not to say that everybody has something wrong with them, but if you hear a reoccurring theme in somebody's stories as you're getting to know them, chances are that's their weak suit, in dating. Like if you get to know a guy and he calls his child's mother a bitch, girl, you need to run. Yeah. You need to run. Yes. Because it's no respect for women in that man's heart. So it's things like that.
Mhm. And the other thing is, now I'm on the fence with the bitch thing, because, and I know I probably should be more mature when it comes to this, but I'm not there when it comes to this bitch word, because I use it, and I use it like I use it. Mm-hmm. I use it when I'm laughing and joking with my friends. I use it if me and my husband are doing something and he, I don't know, let's say, he say something smart, I might let it rip. And it's all in fun. But on the other hand, when it comes to men saying it, I have a whole nother perspective. So I guess I can't, I can't be on the fence about it. I can't be like, I know he didn't just call me a B, da-da-da-da-da-da, but I let the B word rip on the regular. So I guess we got to be mindful, ladies, because what you say and what we say around each other, around people that we're just dating, then that probably gives them the impression that we are okay with being called the same thing. So I guess you got to be careful about what you put out in the universe too, because somebody that's looking who don't know you, they're getting to know you, they might see that as something else. If you're out and you're dating, kind of be mindful of the things that you say, because it might come across as something else to someone else. All right, now I'm gonna give you a story, and I think it's the funniest story ever. So, when I was single, I was dating. The weirdest fucking date I have ever been on. And when I tell you this motherfucker was weird, oh my God. All right, so I met a dude. I knew him through somebody else. I don't even remember all the details. Somebody else hooked me up with this guy. So, go out to dinner. I drove. I had a car. He did not drive. So, went and got him. We went to dinner. I don't remember where the dinner was, some restaurant. I don't really remember all the details. Get to dinner, and our conversation was about this guy that I used to date. So he was asking me questions about a guy that I used to date. First and foremost, how do you know that I used to date him? Why do you have this information? I mean, and this was back in the day. This was before Facebook, before MySpace, before Instagram, before all of that. So I'm like, this is weird. Why are you asking me questions about an ex? But okay, I'm not answering any of these questions. So let's move on to the next topic. Okay, that was weird in and of itself. We order our food. The food comes, and he straight just start eating his food with his hands. Like, I'm sitting at the table looking like, really, I mean, like they gave you silverware, dude. What's going on? Broccoli, just picking it up, putting it in his mouth. Mashed potatoes, a lump of mashed potatoes in your hand, you just put it in your mouth. All your food. Like, he literally, I was like, so, okay, I can't take this no more. Why you not eating with a fork? Because then he goes into this whole systematic propaganda of the United States of America, the independence of the free nation, of why we shouldn't be using forks. What the hell? I was like, okay, yeah. This day gonna be real short. This gonna be a one hitter or quitter. I wrapped that up real fast. I was like, you know what? I had made plans to do something else after that. So after this, we gonna wrap this up, and then we gonna get it on, moving to the next thing, and because I'm about to have to be out. Oh no, I dropped him off, and it might not even be at his house. It might have been at the corner. Bye, get out. See you later. You will never hear from me again. What the hell was that? And when I tell you, after he got out the car, I was cracking up laughing to myself like, Stacey, you got yourself in the one this time. What the fuck was that? Anyhow, people, what the world? Okay, whatever. So, yes, I know that you are going to run into some unexpected kind of dates or some dates that's going to be like, whoa, what the hell? But I guess that's what make this single life kind of fun a little bit, because you never know what you're going to meet or who you're going to meet or what you're going to run into.
You don't. And it's like, I find that people take the fun out of dating because it's no way to tell the future. It's no way to expect anything. And I really feel as though people don't get into the goodness of dating, which is getting to know somebody new, getting to know somebody with the intentions of possibly taking it further. And I think that people sometimes mistake dating in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? It's like when you're dating, you're getting to know somebody to possibly get into a relationship. When you're dating, right, you're not in a relationship right off the bat. And some men and women misconstrue, maybe, if we go on X amount of dates, then we're together. But no, you're actually dating to get to know people. And then, like, often people are like, well, when I'm dating somebody, I'm just dating one person. How is that possible? Because it's just like that's just like you're going to the Pimlico races and you're betting on one horse. Like you're decreasing your chances. I mean, and chances are that this guy that you're like investing your all in as a woman is out here dating several women. And and I know some guys are probably like, oh, that's not true. I mean, that is absolutely true, and it should be true for everybody until you meet somebody that you vibe with, and the understanding is you're gonna stop seeing other people to get to know one another further. So that's when it gets into a relationship. But I just feel like it doesn't get there often because, everybody brings their different sets of issues to the table. With guys, it's all women do this, all women do this, all women do this. But at the same time, they're not acknowledging that they themselves are still bearing hurtful scars from past things. You know what I'm saying? Like you won't let somebody get in further than this because they show traits of what some other woman did. And I think that's unfair because men like to say often, well, not all dudes, but y'all not doing the same thing for women. Like y'all not saying not all women. Because the first thing that dudes say, oh y'all females, and it's like when dudes start off with oh y'all females, then I know I'm already tuned out because they're 9 times out of 10 going to say some misogynistic shit out their mouth. So as soon as a guy says all females, I'm like immediately not listening to you because I know you about to say something and I'm not. Your point isn't valid.
Right. You know what? You just said something that I didn't think about, but makes a lot of sense. When you're dating people, you're not in a relationship. You're dating people, so you should be dating more than one person, more than two people, actually.
Right.
Until you kind of get to a level of that dating that you decide, okay, now we're going to be in a relationship, then that's just what it is. But I never thought about it like that, and I guess you're right, because now the crazy thing is, and what men don't know this, and I've had a conversation with, I do a thing called barbershop talk, in which I go to a barbershop and I kind of throw questions out, say what, whatever is going on in today's world, topics, politics, whatever. And so men have a perception that can you hear me? Okay.
Hello?
Because my screen, I'm here. My screen just blinked out, so I wanted to make sure I was still on the radio part.
Okay.
So, in talking to men kind of put women in a category, or they say, they want this, that, and the other out of a woman. But a lot of times you kind of have to look at the overall picture. So, yeah, you might want a woman that does this, and this. But are you willing to forego some of the other things that you want out of a woman because they have the main things? Or, because you're never going to meet a man or a woman that meets all of your expectations. That's impossible.
Right. Right, absolutely.
When you meet people, I think you kind of, the things that are most important to you, those are the qualities or the things that you look for. But kind of put your guard down on the other things that's not really that important. So if you definitely want a person that believes in God and goes to church, okay, then you should be looking for a person that has that at least basic thing. Now, your height requirement or your weight requirement or your this requirement or your that requirement might can fall back a little bit. But you at least want a person that has these, moral guidelines or what have you. So, no, I agree. I totally agree. I think our expectations of the opposite sex has to be realistic, and we shouldn't expect more from the other person than we expect from ourselves.
Right. That is absolutely correct. And also, to chime in on your point is, I don't think often people know exactly what it is that they want outside of the physical attributes. So I think once they get the physical attributes that they like, oh girl, he got to be 6'2", oh girl, he got to be chocolate, oh girl, he got to be this, or ooh, dude, she got to have a fat ass, or she got to have a degree. But once you get past that and once you obtain that, what else do you want? And then I think that's where a lot of people get lost because they don't have a top five. Oh, I want somebody that's God-fearing. I want somebody that's goal-oriented. I want somebody that's loyal. I don't think those things come into people's mind because they just want the basic needs. Oh, I want somebody that's employed. Oh, I want somebody that is this, something that is material, but it doesn't link into their, their heartstrings. What are your love languages? How do you do you tell people how to treat you? Do you show people how to treat you? So I just think that oftentimes people are, it's true that we as men and women are initially attracted to the physical. But once you kind of get there, it has to be something else that kind of keeps you in the situation.
Yep.
And I think, I think that most of the time when these dudes are out here fawning after video vixens and, and these chicks that, the hottest chicks in the clubs and things like that, it's like once they obtain them, it's just kind of like, what I do now? Or, okay, where we go now. And, most of the time it just dissolves. So I think that, people need to be out here dating with realistic expectations, where, women should realistically, have an understanding of men and what what these guys that they put on these pedestals are about. And on the inverse, men should really, kind of take the time to get to know somebody, because I'm in a singles group, and the guy that created this group on Facebook wanted to keep it kind of balanced and keep it half and half. But I'll say that, it's only several dudes that are vocal in the group, and there's only like several type of women that are vocal in the group too. So you only see certain people that are active all the time. So it just seems like the same people are going after the same people. And then you're just like, are there any really successful dates popping off in here if everybody wants to be cool? You know what I'm saying? So it's just like dating out here is kind of like crazy. It is crazy. And it's so crazy that my most recent ex, he often comes back and does wellness checks on me. Because he can say that it's for my wellness, but I know it's for his wellness because I know what I brought to the table. I brought loyalty. You knew that I wasn't, you knew that I wasn't out here just, I wasn't the queen of the turn up. Don't get me wrong. I like to have a good time, but I'm not in the street 24/7. Right. Or, my mind state, my maturation level, you don't have to worry about certain things. And I think he's realizing that now, so he's like, he might, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I say this to people all the time. When you're looking for a companion, a soulmate, a friend, someone to kick it with, you have to find someone who knows how to be bored. Being bored is a good thing. Being bored comes with maturity, like you said. Some things, like my husband knows, some things he doesn't have to worry about. He know I'm not going to cheat on him. If I'm bored, I'm not going to be bored. I ain't had nothing else to do, so I went out. And, it happened while I was out. I'm not doing that. If I'm bored, I'm going to sleep. That's number one. First of all, I'm very seldom bored. That's not my mindset. I got way too much stuff going on in my life, and I'm always busy to be bored. So if you find a person of the opposite sex and they said they bored, really, as an adult, you bored? What does your life consist of that you have even the time to be bored?
Right, because as an adult, it's always something to do. Always. Like you always, you're on to the next. You should be trying to build something. You working on a 401k. Right. You trying to go on vacation. You trying to get a passport. As an adult, I can get with that. Like as an adult, you should never be bored. Now granted, you might say you want to do something fun, but you should never be bored as an adult. Like there is tons of like literal things that you could be doing. Right. Read a book. Pick up another skill. Amazon and Apple have different types of free courses you can take, so you should never be bored. You're correct. I'm gonna have to adopt that, Stacey.
How about it? All right, so we have a caller and they have a question or a comment, so we're gonna patch them in. You are on with Make Me Feel It Radio. This is your host, Stacy. Make me feel it.
Hey, hey.
Hey, girl. How you doing?
Good, Shonda. Now, look, I've been waiting to talk so long, I forgot what I wanted to say, but it was in reference. No, seriously. It was in reference to what the young lady spoke about. Lord, now I'm going to block freeze here. About people not knowing what they want in relationships. And then I think what happens with women, a lot of women settle, and I think that's the doing too. In my earlier days, I settled so much, or the wood was good, and once that's all said and done, when you really find out that his feet stink, low life and this, that, and that, you caught up with your emotions. You caught up in the physical that you're like, this really ain't worth a daggone. But you suck. So a lot of people ask me, why are you single? And I'm 45. And guess what? I'm happy. As long as I'm happy with me, I'm good. So people ask me, why are you single? Now at 45, well, I knew a couple of years earlier. Now, but at 45 now, still to this day, I know that I have a choice now. I don't have to go with Joe Blow. I don't have to go with the one with the best wood. No, I have a choice. And I was, and I said this with Stacy a while back. I was dating this guy, and I said to him one day, I'm dating. You know what he said to me? He was like, oh, well, I can't date you because, you know, you're dating too many women. Men. So I said, well, that's what dating is. He said, well, I can't do men that date all these men. And when the young lady on the speaking that said men can't handle it, it's true. But it's so funny because I'm a good woman and he sees what I do because, you know, we went out, we have a great time. He is such a gentleman, and he's not the best looking thing walking, but his heart is good. I don't go for He is such a gentleman. Even if I drive my truck and he drives his, he follows me home. We stop at the gas station. He fills my truck up, follows me home, kiss me goodbye, and go on about his business. I'm like, oh, that's some niche stuff right here. So I always told him, but it went sour because you were so busy focused on the other men, but you just didn't know you had your foot all the way in the door.
Yeah.
All the way in the door. But you dropped the ball because you was worried about Joe Blow. But now he's coming back in the midst of the circle, and I'm like, I'm feeling like him because I know I'm a good woman. But you went with this so-and-so, and now you want to come back to me? I know what you're about, so I don't want you now. You should have got me when you had the opportunity because you had me at day one. He had, but he just didn't know it. And a lot of men cannot take a woman dating. I said dating doesn't mean I'm sleeping with everyone. Half of them ain't even getting it, not even sniffing it. So you don't even have to worry about me going anywhere because that's what I'm doing in dating. You worrying about what somebody else ain't even getting. This boy don't even open the door for me. And I say boy because boys don't open doors. Men do. Men don't hold a hard door. Men, when I say this man is a pure gentleman. And I always told him, I said, boy, you was the ideal guy. He's 6'3". I'm 5 foot even. And I never dated tall guys. That one right there, anytime I take you home to mama, boy, you in. I have to make that comment because a lot of men can't handle it, but they can date this one, and that one. But when we say we're doing it's a problem. And most of them really don't know what they want. And one more thing, and then I'm going to shut up. I went on a date last night. A guy I met maybe 3 weeks ago. Okay, and I love a guy that loves to dance, that loves to hold a woman's hand, all that. And I've been stressing because mom's been sick or whatever. And he said, you know what, I'm going to relieve your stress. I'm going to take you out. And I said, yeah, he's fooling around. He ain't taking me nowhere. Now, and this is the point of what I'm speaking on right now. Now, he doesn't have a car. At the time, now this goes back to what the young lady said with these guys bringing up all these stories about reasons why they can't and this and that. I said, it's not a problem. If you want to take me out, I can come pick you up. I can do that. It's not a problem. I'm not that kind of woman. I picked him up. We went to the movies. After the movies, we went to this nice little restaurant lounge, which the ambiance was really nice. It was a real chill spot, and boy, no problem. But he lost points. He never opened my door. When I went to approach the door, I looked back at him. He looked at me. Go ahead, babe. I said, oh, okay, that's a finish. The whole time. He never, and I even bull-crapped around in the car because I said, okay, he's going to walk around to my side and open his car door. Never opened that door. So although we had a nice time, tapping the toes, talking, lounging, and all, he lost points. He lost all the brownie points because you didn't show me that I was that queen. So I would never treat you like a king. And just, you know, he had the audacity to say, if I wasn't tired and if I didn't have to promote this show tomorrow and this, that, and the other, I would have stayed with you last night. No, you
would
you? Let's pop them breaks right now. I said, no, you wouldn't. Right. I said, you look good. You look like a baby Rick Ross. But I said, baby, no, you wouldn't. I said, I'm not that woman. And he was like, oh, no, I'm not playing. I'm dead serious. But I just wanted to, put my 2 cents in because this is my topics day.
How about
but
it? And you actually remember to listen this time.
Oh.
I know. And look, I was sitting here thinking, now what number do I press in? Because I want to get in there.
Right.
But
no, so I got a question for you.
For who?
So
Me?
if he did everything for you, LaShonda.
Okay.
So he did everything else right. You enjoyed yourself. You said you enjoyed yourself. Good conversation. Right. So why can't? So if you said to him, all right, so from now on, I'm gonna need you to open doors and be more of a gentleman because those are the things I like. If he did those things, how you think it would go any further?
Oh, no, they wouldn't have went further that night. He would have got another date. And he mentioned to me.
No. I don't mean any further like getting the drawers. We already know that's out. That's not what we do. I mean, like as far as another date.
Oh, yes. He definitely would have got another date because oh, my God, everything else about him is fine. Everything else about him is fine. He ain't opening no doors, baby. You can forget it. He held my hand, which I think that's a little, I think when guys, hold women's hands, that's some little type of little intimate, like he's not ashamed to hold your hand. He's not a punk about it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Sissy, because the homeboys see him holding my hand or caressing my hair, playing in my locks. I love that stuff. And when you let the locks down, go ahead, you can play in them.
So let me ask you.
I like for a guy to be attentive with me.
Yeah. But let me ask you a question. So do you think that the reason why men say they don't want to date a woman that's dating several dudes is because when they date several different women, they having sex with all of them?
Well, yes, I think that's the case. And then men can never wrap their brain around a woman. Even when a woman cheats on a man, they can never, ever wrap their brain around the fact that, okay, she stepped out me. I got to go behind this dude. Most men don't forgive a woman when they cheat. But it's not cheating. I'm dating. You have no right to yet.
Right.
But once I say, oh, okay, we're going to make this thing monogamous or whatever, then, yeah, Sean, I got to shut it down. It's just for you.
Right.
But, I mean, I think they're just afraid of being hurt. But, me, I'm an open book. Let's discuss this thing. If you got issues, bring it to the table. We only talking about it this one time. So once you lay it down, and we moving forward.
Right.
That was the guy's issue that, that came back into my life, recently. He couldn't wrap his head around. I said, well, why are you worried? You haven't even got it. So what is you worried about it for? And that's how I look at it. As long as I ain't sleeping with you, I don't care if you chose her over me. I ain't losing nothing. I didn't give you any parts of me. And that's just how I look at it. But yeah, guys can't wrap their brain around that fact.
Right. It's definitely a double standard. It definitely is a double standard.
It is.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. All right, so Baby Rick Ross, if you listening out there, if somebody know who Baby Rick Ross is, I'm going to need you to start opening doors, brother, so you can get another date in. Stop playing games.
Don't even worry, because we want to see he was a little tipsy last night. So, see, I want you to be at an open mind when I had this discussion, because I don't want you to say, oh, I don't remember you saying that. Did you say that? Oh, I was messed up. Oh, no, boy, I'm going to wait till you're sober. And I'm going to bring it to you.
Right.
And these are grown men. These are not men under 30, 35. I'm talking about 47, 50 years old. They still ain't got it.
Oh, they should know better by now. Come on. But you know what? The other thing is, and I say this again, it's because some women or not enough women have told them that that's what we need. As women, we need you to open up the doors for us, fellas. We need you to hold our hands when we on dates. That's what we want. That's what we like. Just do it. How hard is it? It's not going to kill you. All right, so thank you for calling in, LaShonda. You know I love you. Mwah, 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 mwah.
Love you too. Love you too.
Shawnice, what you think?
I think that she has some very valid points. I think that when it comes to dating, that there are different, expectations and there are different rules when it comes to different genders. I definitely think that when it comes to men and women dating, that there are definitely two sets of goals. And and if a guy tells a woman, oh, well, I can't date you if you're dating other men, it's basically you're telling me that you're basically telling me you're sleeping with all of the women that you're dating, because essentially you're putting me in that same thing that you're doing. So it's just kind of like, I think that's just kind of messed up. And, oftentimes that's not the case. Or it's another projection thing because, some men think, okay, if I put out for this date, then this chick is going to put out for whatever. And that's not often the case. So, that's just, I don't know, that's just another gap in the expectation when it comes to dating. But I wanted to speak on something else that she was talking about. I'm trying to remember exactly what it was. Part of it was, men and women's thoughts when it comes to, dating and putting all their eggs in one basket. But what I wanted to also talk about is, why is it so hard for guys to communicate their emotions? Like, because you have these emotions, it's not because you're less than. And I have my theory on that. But my theory is some men don't want to emote because of the way that they treat women in relationships when they get emotional. Heartache hurts. Heartache hurts. When somebody betrays you, it hurts. When somebody lies to you, it hurts. So it's all a part of the emotion. And because I'm emoting about it does not negate my feelings or the facts of the situation. And I think that's one thing that guys do that I just can't clap my hands to. You're not going to make me feel bad, or you're not going to listen to what I'm saying because I'm being emotional about it. No, what you did to me hurt. As because of the decisions that you made, this is the consequence. This is the effect. And just because I'm being emotional about it, you're going to negate it. And I feel like that kind of drives some guys to not want to open up to these same women that they kind of make feel bad because they're being emotional about, something.
So I think there's a lot that goes into that. But I think one of the main reasons is, so in the I'm a Christian, I believe in God. But in the Muslim religion, they actually have men who teach the younger boys how to be men. There's not another religion that I know of, and I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, feel free to correct me on this, even if you're listening on the radio, if you're listening on the phone. If I'm wrong, you can correct me. I don't mind being wrong. But I don't think there's another religion that actually teach our young boys how to be men, how to think like a man, how to act like a man, and how to become one with your emotions. So because for so long we teach our little boys starting at a young age, stop crying. Only girls cry. You acting like a punk. So they have to learn how to suppress those emotions. As they're growing up, if they show emotions, you acting gay, or you acting like a girl, you acting like a female. So they learn how to suppress those emotions. As men, because they've been told all their lives that if you show emotion and you don't act this way, then you're kind of acting soft or you're acting like a girl. They never come to grips, accept, and become one with the emotions that they have. So they don't know how to communicate them and communicate them well. So if they're feeling emotional about something, they feel some kind of way about something, then they only know to act out. Or they only know to argue, or they only know to fuss, or they only know to fight, because for so long we teach our boys not to communicate about their emotions, not to say, you know what, you made me feel this kind of way when you did this, or when you did this, it made me feel this. They never learned that, but women learn that from the beginning. If you're mad about something, don't use your hands. Use your mouth. Tell people, you made me feel like this when you did that. So we teach women to be kind of submissive. Don't act like this when you're mad. Talk about it. We teach men, don't talk about it when you're mad. Do this. Suppress it. So you get it? That's why we have a whole bunch of emotional men running around here acting crazy because they don't know how to talk about their emotions and still be manly.
But at the same time, at what point do you want to do better? Well, at what point do you want to be better? Like, at what point do you want better? Because what I'm finding is that people, not just women, not just men, people are in this constant state of victimization. Always. It's always something being done to them. But at the core of it, what are you doing to your mental health?
Yep.
What are you doing in the terms of self-care? Don't you want to be in a better, happier mind state? And happy is just not solely connected to material things. It's just like, are you talking to somebody else outside of your family, your best friend? Because that's not a therapist. That's not a therapist. That's like, I don't think people get that. At what point do you want better? Like, you can't always, like, other people can't always be the problem. Like, I understand it, and I realize that men and women are raised totally different. It's a switch that goes off where it's like all of the things that you were taught were just, it's like a template. Then it's on you to kind of add to your operating system from there. Like, you're constantly, like with your phone is constantly getting updates to run these apps. Your body needs updates to your mental, updates to your heart, updates to your physical, updates to your spiritual. So I think that while you're out here dating, you have to also kind of, date yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to give to yourself because you're so busy out here trying to give to these other people. You're giving them to it physically, oh, I want to kill him, oh, I want to slay. You're giving it to him mentally. Oh, yeah, I'm going to do this because you're already putting thought into your outfit. So you kind of have to date yourself. And I realize that a lot of people don't do that. So when it comes to giving somebody else attention, they don't know how to give somebody else attention because they don't know how to give themselves attention.
I agree. One of the things I tell people all the time is until you make yourself happy, how you going to know how somebody else is supposed to make you happy? So you have to find out all the things about yourself, things that you like, things that you don't like, things that you want to change, things that you absolutely need to stay the same. So your moral, your foundation, what you believe, what you won't, kind of be shaken on, those are your moral grounds. You keep those because that's going to guide you throughout life. But some things that you need to change is you always have to change your outlook because things that you might have believed in for 10 years, somebody's going to say something or you're going to see something or you're going to do something, and that's going to make you question that. You should always question yourself on the things that you believe because your change is coming all the time. The person that I was 7 years ago is not the same person that I am now. The person that I was 5 years ago is not the same person that I am. So if a time period goes past, let's say 1 year, you should not be the same exact person that you were last year you are today. That means there's no growth. Right. We always have to change. We always have to question ourselves. We always have to, kind of take into consideration what we think, how we think, what made us think about this stuff. So as a child, I grew up going to church. We went to church from Wednesday to Sunday. It was Wednesday Bible study. It was Thursday choir rehearsal. It was Friday night service. Then we got a break on Saturday. Sunday morning, we was there for, Sunday school. We had a morning service. We ate at the church. We had an evening service. Oh, we went to, but all the things that I learned in church as I got older, some things I might have thought, okay, this is how I'm supposed to live my life. But as I got older, I was like, you know what? Am I really serving God by doing it this way? Or am I serving man because man see me doing it this way, and so I get all the congratulations, or you go to church every Sunday, or you do this. But the other thing that I found out is I don't really need to go to church every Sunday. I know, some people think you should go to church every Sunday, but instead of one of those Sundays going to church, I'm going to take some food down to these homeless people, and I'm going to sit and I'm going to give them some good food, and I'm kind of going to have a conversation with some homeless people who don't really have people that will sit down and actually talk to them and kind of figure out what's going on in their world. Isn't that a blessing from God? Isn't that me doing God's work? God didn't say you have to go to church every Sunday, but God did say that you're supposed to look out for the less fortunate. You're supposed to give unto yourself. You're supposed to treat people the way you would want to be treated. So a lot of times I think we kind of get caught up in what we think being adult should look like.
Right.
But we lose track of, as we become adults, we should be growing, we should be blooming, we should be flourishing, we should be changing, we should be doing more stuff to help other people, and it shouldn't always be about us.
Right. That's why when people, come to me and say, Shanice, you changed. You know what? I hope I did. I hope I did change.
Yeah.
Because if I stay the same, what growth, what am I learning? I'm not learning anything. I would be in a perpetual state of the same, making the same mistakes, going through the same issues, going through the same things. So when people say that you change, take that as a sign that you are, that's a good thing. All changes, sometimes all change isn't good, but if somebody is saying that you changed, take that as a sign of growth.
And maybe that person has not changed, and so they're saying that you're no longer the turn-up queen, and now you're actually doing some stuff that's going to regulate your mind and get you to think about some things other than turning up. Then, yes, if those people are saying that you've changed, then you should be looking at yourself like, well, all right, now I'm getting somewhere.
Right, because, sometimes, oftentimes the people that say that you change are, the people that, you change. The only thing that you changed, well, the thing that they say is the only thing that changed is the way that you let them treat you. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Or you're not doing this. You're not doing the things that they want you to do. So you change the way, essentially you change the way that you related to them.
Absolutely. All right, so Shanice, we got to take a commercial break to pay some bills. And then when we come back, we only have 35 minutes. So we're going to wrap it up, and then you're going to let me pick your brain a couple more times and ask you some questions. And if anyone else wants to call in, if you're listening from the radio, if you're listening from the radio, if you're listening from the computer, the telephone number is 646-929-0630. Press 1 to speak. So we're going to a commercial break. When we come back, we're going to be wrapping it up for tonight.
Welcome to the Family Healing Circle, where we inspire awareness, manifesting, motivating, and educating every day. On Sundays, it's Make Me Feel It Radio with Stacey Ferguson. This show is starting a movement as it seeks to inspire people to grow and change the world through personal and financial development. On Mondays is Totally Whole with Pastor Cook and Dr. Maxine. This show addresses issues related to spirituality and mental health. On Tuesdays, it's Money Matters with Chastity A. Wells. This show will help you get your money right and your financial house in order. On Wednesdays, it's the RN Perspective with our own RN, Stacey Moore. Change the way you think about health by understanding the connection you have with all things and how your habits affect your health. Learn to heal holistically. On Thursdays, it's 4 weeks, 4 different shows. 5 weeks, 5 different shows. The first Thursday of the month is Total Empowerment, where beauty and strength is enhanced inside and out with Angela Hardy. The second Thursday of the month is One Love, One Connection, One Us. Turn your relationship into a spiritual union with Reverend Arlene Cahet and Reverend Harvey L. Bailey. The third Thursday of the month is the Sacred Masculine Show with Reverend Jamel Gilliam, a show for spiritual brothers and the women who love them. The fourth Thursday of the month is the Inner Consciousness with Reverend Harvey L. Bailey. This show explores the inner world of our mind and gives advice on spiritual growth and self-healing. The fifth Thursday of the month is Healing Paradigms with Reverend Arlene Cahet, healing the mind, body, and spirit through changing viewpoints. On Fridays, it's Let's Talk Love, Sex, and Nutrition. It's sexual health and fitness like you've never heard it before with Vondria Walters and Zakia Lana. A family healing circle on Blog Talk Radio, 7 to 9 p.m. every day. And now you can subscribe to our YouTube channel at Family Healing Circle Media. Family Healing Circle, healing the mind, body, and soul. Welcome to the Family Healing Circle, where we inspire.
We're going to have to talk to the owners of that radio station because that is the longest boringest commercial ever. Anyhow. Shanice, you with me? Hello, Shanice. You're with me?
Yes, I'm still here.
Oh. All right. We're gonna have to talk to the owners of the radio station. That is the longest, boringest commercial ever in life in the history of commercials. The turn up is not real on that commercial. All right, so we only got 32 minutes left. First of all, thank you, Shanice, for being on the show with me and chopping it up. You've been great, and I always appreciate the conversation. It's always something thought-worthy. And I love that you are a fellow City Knight. So all our city people, we always representing. We always coming with a good conversation, and I love talking to you guys. All right, now, the conclusion of the show, our last 32 minutes. First question is there anything that you wanted to talk about that I did not touch on or I didn't talk about or I didn't ask you about?
No, I think we pretty much covered, like, what's going on in the state of dating and things like that, when it comes to dating, like attitudes and, the disconnect and things like that. So I think we covered a lot of ground.
All right. The next thing is we really going to need to find out how we can start doing some singles events around town. Even if it's a little happy hour, a couple hours, in the evening, where just all single people, that's serious. Like, I have a problem with people who say they single just to use that as an excuse to fuck a bunch of bitches. Like,
well,
really?
Seriously?
I understand it. No, single is single, and I get it. If you single and that's what you're doing, then that's fine. Do you? But if you're single and you're looking for a meaningful relationship, these are the type of events that I want to have.
Well, it's funny because you say, how some people kind of like fake single. It's like this term that they use, and they call it internet singles because it's just kind of like everybody on the internet appears to be single, you know what I'm saying? But in real life, they're like in relationships or they're in situationships. So, yeah, you definitely have to be single, not just out here, like you said, just looking for, new fuck buddies, so to say, because, like I said, I'm in this, like, singles group, and it's like some of the guys come off as very sincere, and trying to get to know, people, but then, you have other guys that just, they're not seriously looking for anybody, and it's just kind of like another source of entertainment or just another, stream to diversify their fun buddies. So it's just kind of like, people have to be serious about it. So that's like one of the pitfalls. So, kind of planning like single type events because you really can't control the flow of, who's really there to actually, meet a potential, mate.
I wish it was some kind of way where in order to come to the event, we had to know something about your home life, who you live with.
Right. Right.
If you
because
live with your baby mother, you're not single. I don't care what you say. She only staying here because we only together because we just waiting because. No. You need to be single, have your own apartment, have your own car, and a 9 to 5 in order to attend. We need to check your credentials.
Those are the type of dudes that I was just talking about. Those are the dudes that are in situationships. Like,
yes.
they're in these complacent relationships, but they, it's that codependency there. So it's just kind of like nobody's moving out of the situation. So they're acting like they're single. So, jokingly, I told one of my friends, the next time a guy tries to holler at me and I know that he has a girl, I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna holler at the girl, like, being facetious. But it's just kind of like, if a guy says, oh yeah, I'm just in a situation, or we just roommates. Well, let me ask your baby mother, do she know that you're single? Or let me ask your girlfriend, do she know that you're single? Because it's definitely dudes that's still out here, on a prowl, but that would go
playing
back
a lot
to
of
some
games.
women. Right, playing a lot of games, but some people would be like, well, women allow it, but I mean, oftentimes you don't know that these guys are in whole relationships until after the fact, or it could be,
until his baby mother call your phone playing games or post something on your timeline.
Right, because this is something else that dudes are out here doing, and even though you're not in a relationship, they doing all kinds of boyfriend type shit, like out here, like really doing boyfriend type shit, like you're not interested in me other than sleeping with me, but you want to drop me off at my job. You want to pick me up. You want to ask me, you texting me all through the day. You want to send me on vacations. You want me to meet your family. Things like that. And that's just like sending mixed signals. But, you're not putting a title on it. And that, that kind of burns me up when some guys like, why can't women just flow? And I'm like, there has to be something already established in order for it to flow. And I find that when people say they just want it to flow, they just want to live in that, like, gray area when it comes to dating, like, no communication. So the first minute that somebody else...
They just don't want the title.
Right. Like, the first minute that a misunderstanding comes into play, it's just kind of like, oh, you got to accept any behavior because we really didn't kind of speak about that. And that's another thing that I think, we go wrong, in trying to date people. We don't exactly communicate, efficiently.
What your expectations are.
Right. We're so busy not trying to rock the boat. We're just trying to get in the door that we don't want to, let the real person loose. In some cases, you don't want to let the real person loose because it's just kind of like, damn, how would they think if they knew that I had this view, on something that they didn't, that they didn't like. We don't want to rock the boat, so to say. But, if
anybody knows me, I've been rocking the boats. From the first time anyone ever meets me, I'm rocking the boats. I'm saying how I feel. I'm feeling how I'm saying it. And I think when you meet people, you meet the representative. You meet who they want you to think they are. So until you actually meet who the real person is, you kind of walk that fine line. But I'm kind of probably too blunt, and I probably messed up. I ain't going to say messed up. I think it was what it was because I'm not going to act a certain way. I'm going to let you know what I like, what I don't like up front, and I'm kind of going to be myself up front because I want to break you in early. This is what you're going to have to deal with. So I'm letting you know who it is right now up front. I'm not going to put on no airs. I'm not going to act, okay, I'm this way and okay, I'm that way. I'm letting you know up front, off the break, because I don't have time for them type games. If you like it, cool. We're going to move on. If you don't like it, that's still cool. I'm not the person for you. Keep it moving, bro. We good. And every time I see you, I'm going to speak to you. Hey, what's going on? How you been? What's going on in life? You good? But it just means you're not the person for me. So stop putting on fronts, people. Eventually, we're going to find out who you are. Eventually, you can't put on a role, and you can't let me meet the representative after 6 months. After 6 months, then the representative get tired of being a representative, and the true you come out. And then I find out that you're an asshole after 6 months. And come on, I could have found that out 6 weeks in, and we could have already nipped this in the bud.
Right.
All right, so question. How long do you think you should be dating before you even move into a relationship status? Or if you're in a relationship status, how long should you be dating before you need to be putting a ring on it?
Well, I think it just depends. It depends on what you're looking for at the time or how your relationship is flowing. I mean, because, sometimes you'll link up with somebody and the attraction is there, you're connected, your communication is great and things are moving great. So, after 3 months, some people are in relationships, you know what I'm saying? But then, like, some people, I've been hearing that some people actually wait almost a year before they're in a relationship seriously, because some people want to, see their potential girlfriend or boyfriend do different holidays. They want to see them at Christmas time. They want to see them in stressful situations. So I definitely can see the plus side to, wanting to wait a year. But definitely, if you're in a relationship for more than 2 to 3 years, I think that it's time to put a ring. Like, when I hear people that have been in like 12-year relationships, I'm just kind of like,
still boyfriend and girlfriend. Stop playing. After 5 years, you still boyfriend and girlfriend. Come on, what kind of games you playing? Either we gonna get married or we not. And if we're not getting married, then it's time for you to go your way and I go mine. I'm not gonna be comfortable with being somebody's girlfriend, living in the same house with them, and we doing everything as a married couple, but you not trying to make that commitment. And it's been 5 years. Come on, stop playing games, y'all, for real.
Right.
That's ignorant.
Right. Like, you can act like you don't know.
Right. Oh, you know. All right, side chicks. What you think? We got 20 minutes.
Oh, man. I just think, listen, I think that people only do what's readily available to them. And like I said earlier, I think that some people, or as your friend also said, some people just settle. And I think that a lot of women that are out here being side chicks and proud of it, it's just what's available to them at this moment. And then other times it's just some women just are emotionally unavailable. And being a side chick, it gets them a certain level of attention. And then most of the time, if you're some dude's side chick, then, the word on the street is, he taking you, so it's a mutual type relationship for some. For some, from reality TV, they make a good living off of being a side chick. So, it's definitely out here being glorified. When you look at, what's going on in trends in society and things like that. So, I mean, as Laura, my good friend, would say, get it how you live.
How about it? So, my opinion on it is I'm kind of on the fence. I don't really know what I think about it. First and foremost, I'm married. So, if a dude is married, and this is my thought when I was single. If a dude is married, he is off limits. I have done enough stuff in my life that I need to repent for. I'm not adding that to the list when I go talk to God at the end. I'm not doing that. So if you married, you off limits. If he has a girlfriend, oh, game on. That's her problem, not mine. So, I don't know. Side chicks these days are kind of living a good life. If you think about it, they get to deal with men when they feel like dealing with them. They get the turn up man. They get the fun time. They get the man that's, all he's trying to do is have a good time. So you getting drinks, you getting food, and taking places. And you don't have to worry about all the emotional stuff that come with it. I don't know.
Right.
Side chicks sound like a good job in 2016.
I mean, if you don't want nothing, I mean, I would say, like I said, it's ideally for, not saying it's for anybody, but I mean, ideally it's for the young, and it's for those that, that's what their life is about. If their life is about to turn up, then I mean, more power to you. But just know that eventually it's gonna have to come to an end.
In the universe,
right?
What you put out in the universe is ultimately going to come back. Karma, that bitch is a bad motherfucker.
Yes, and you get it back tenfold. So it's just kind of like you can have your fun.
Always come back to you how you put it out.
Right. You can have your fun, but just know that it's going to pop back up somewhere.
Yep. I agree. And so now, where do we go from here, Miss Shanice? Do we have a singles conversation? Do we need to have a monthly conversation about singles, what's going on in our singles world, and how we can get our single people to not be single no more, so that we won't have it's always going to be single people, whether by choice or by force.
Or by circumstance. Yep.
Right. So we're going to have to figure out what we're going to do with this segment, how we're going to bring it monthly, and what we're going to do so that we can have our singles, our true singles who are really looking for love, how we can get them going and moving in the right direction to meet up with some people that hopefully will make a good, happy couple. So this is something we're going to have to work on.
Most definitely.
We're going to put it out in the universe, and hopefully the powers that be will be hearing us and kind of throw something our way where we can have a good venue and a good, maybe one night a month where singles can come out and interact, and we can have some fun. Make it fun. Change the game up a little bit.
Mhm. Most definitely. That would be very good.
All right, so we have come to the end of our show. Again, if you guys want to come to the play, which is Saturday the 24th, tickets are on sale. We only have a limited amount, so please, please, please get your tickets this week. The tickets are $15 in advance and $20 at the door. The play starts at 5. Vendors will be set up at 4. Make Me Feel It Radio airs every Sunday night from 7 to 9. If you need a link to any of the updates, my email address is stacylferguson77@gmail.com. Send me an email. I'd be glad to send you out the links to all the things that are happening around our city. And that is it for us tonight, Miss Shanice. It's been wonderful. Thank you for gracing me with your presence.
Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. And we're going to have to get the crew together. Maybe we can do something all together with us chopping it up, because I always love hanging out with you guys. The conversations are always awesome. So we're going to have to figure out how to get the crew together on a Sunday night, and we're going to have to film live.
Yes.
All right, honey, boo-boo child. I'm out of here. This is the end of the show. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you, Shanice. You've been great.
You too. Thanks for having me.
No problem.